Testing. Good evening. Hello guys. Can you hear me? Please let me know. Still getting set up fully in the new house. I'm Ryan Rogers watching on Twitch. Good afternoon, Ryan. And good afternoon everybody from YouTube tuning in. Nice to see you guys. Once I know that you can hear me okay. Good evening to Hit to Wound. I will get started, but hope you're well. Welcome to just a Thursday night hangout. Enjoyed the last battle report. Thank you. We do battle reports every Monday night, Ryan. And yeah, I think next week we're going to play against our Andrew's buggy list again, which is quote unquote broken. But we need to try and beat it because we're going to play in a tournament in a couple of weeks' time and Andrew's going to have buggies there. So I have a bunch of bases that I was working on last time that I need to just quickly finish off. And then I have a 3D printed Contemptor Dreadnought that I need to make and build and paint in a week. So here he is. Yeah, he's a Blood Angels 3D print. It's kind of a low quality print, honestly, but you know, because it cost me $5, so it's going to do just for this tournament probably. The quality on the guns is actually just really bad, so I have some other 3D printed guns. So I'm going to try and throw this thing together. I glued a couple of bits together last night. I'm going to try and put a couple more bits of glue on this. I would like to know your thoughts on dedicated character killing HQ. I'm building Lieutenant with Imperium Sword and Teeth of Terra. Dedicated character killing. Why a Lieutenant over a Captain? Because the Lieutenant doesn't have an invulnerable save built in, whereas a Captain does, right, Texan? But let me know. Okay, so yeah, I was going to say, is there any bits I can just quickly glue? Yeah, look at the state of this print. It's terrible. I need a knife to clean this. 1 second. I did some I don't know. I mean, if you want to kill what's wrong with like a Death Company captain on a bike? Death Company captain on a bike will get a lot of attacks. With the Teeth of Terra, well, the captain on a bike gets 4 on the charge. It's 5 on the Savage Echoes. It's 6 from the Teeth of Terra. It's another 3, so that's 9 from Death Company. It's another one. That's 10 from Imperium Sword. That's another one. That's 11, and then you can use Death of the Vengeful Spirit to boost up a bunch of additional attacks on top of that. So would a Death Company captain on a bike not be stronger than Lieutenant with the Teeth of Terra? You can also take a Storm Shield, so he's on a 2-up save. He's toughness 5. He's got a nice 14-inch move. A lot of good things about the Death Company captain on a bike. I actually ran him a lot in the list that I had that was like winning a lot of games in a row. Like one of my lists that won was at like 11 games in a row or something. Ran Death Company captain on a bike. That's a big ass knife. This is a kitchen knife. It is a Kitchen Devil. I don't even know if that brand still exists. It is super old and I've been using it for a hobby for about 20 years. Good evening, Sanguinius Martin. Can you talk a little bit about dealing with the Tau firepower? I think I dealt with the Tau firepower really badly, Martin. I mean, he killed a lot of stuff, that the Tau list. I think if Rennie had been a more experienced player, because he'd only played like a handful of games, he should have probably won that game, right? Like, Tau have a lot of firepower. There's no two ways about it. So, I think if you are playing against the Tau, you want to be in cover as much as possible, and yeah, I mean, it was the Riptides that were the real problem, and because he went first, he got to put up a 3-up invulnerable save. So if he'd been playing 3 Riptides, I think he had a very good chance of winning that game. I think he should have won it anyway. But yeah, I mean, the Overwatch as well against Tau. I guess that's why the Whirlwind. You know, people made fun of me for. It's the one time I haven't included the Whirlwind, and we're up against Tau, where the Whirlwind would have helped a ton. So I guess it is what it is. maybe we should have just run our normal sort of whirlwind style list. Plasmas or bolters, Jeff, on the Inceptors? I think both are good. But Jeff's going with bolters. I like the bolter Inceptors. They're nice and cheap, and they can do quite a bit of work. And they can kill stuff. They can perform objectives. I like the bolter Inceptors. I think they're good. I hope that's just an extra bit of gumph on this model that I've just scraped off there. Yeah, this is my second Volcon, because remember a few weeks ago I was painting this. But I've got 3 of these. They're all 3D printed because it's impossible to get hold of the regular Volkites. Do you know what? They were available one time, and I was in the middle of a stream, so like I didn't really want to stop streaming and like buy Volcons. And by the time I finished the stream, I went to bed, woke up in the morning, and went, "Oh yeah, the Volcons were in stock last night." Went to buy some. They're out of stock. So when I showed you guys on stream that they were all in stock, you guys bought them all, so I couldn't get any. Yeah, it's just, I've cut myself pretty badly with this knife before, actually, like right into, just because it's a kitchen knife, like right into my hand. But I mean, it's a little less sharp than like a Stanley knife, I guess, so because of that I continue to use it, because like if you cut yourself with a Stanley knife, that can be pretty horrendous, right? Is this Gorilla Glue? Yes, the blue Gorilla Glue. It's what I use for like a lot of my modelling. I think it is genuinely very, very good. Why the 650 point tank? The 650 point tank is a model that I picked up a while ago, maybe like 2 years ago, just because I wanted like a giant fire support model. And when I picked it up, it was at a time when that tank was about 1,000 points. I think it was 995 points, and you really couldn't run it in a list because 995 points in one unit was kind of stupid. The Volcano Cannon was better back then. I think it was actually 2d6 for the number of hits you got for the Volcano Cannon. Like, it was ridiculous, but it was really hard to make the tank work in any sort of list because he was just too expensive. So I've run it 10 times now in 9th edition, and I've won every single game we've included that tank in. So I think it's a fun unit to have. 2 games I've lost it in turn 1 now. So it doesn't necessarily win or it kind of sometimes, I suppose, dictates what happens in the game, but I don't dislike the tank at all. I wanted to run it because I've got this tournament coming up, and I was trying to decide if I'm going to include it as part of my list for the tournament. I think after that game, seeing it die in turn 1 against the Tau, or, I mean, it didn't die in turn 1, but he took it down to 2 wounds. I think it's safe to say, as much as I like the tank, it does have a fundamental weakness in that it's got no invulnerable save. So I will not be running it, I don't think, in this tournament that's coming up. But I needed to try it, right? Anton says, I won 90 to 48 V's Farseer battlesuit list in our competitively yesterday. Listening to your advice and hiding as much as possible until turn 3 really helped. Oh, I'm glad to hear it, Anton, and congrats on the win. I know that Farsights they aren't always the easiest thing to deal with. So yeah, you know, sometimes it does feel strange to hide your units for the whole game, but like, we are strongest once we get to turn 3. And I mean, I played Andrew one time, and I'm going to be doing Agrax Earthshade on these bases. So if anyone is curious, sorry, these bases were previously just done with Armageddon Dust. This is what it looks like after 1 coat of Armageddon Dust. So it kind of just looks something like that. And then here's some that I did last week where you put the Agrax Earthshade over it. And this is what it would look like after some Agrax Earthshade over it. So a very simple way to get like a soily, gritty feel for your bases, I guess. So that's how I'm doing these ones. My Volkites arrived from GW. Congratulations, somebody got Volkites from GW. Volcons are back in stock right now. So Volcons are back in stock right now, Sanguinius. We'll finish the stream and I'll go into Forge World and they'll be out of stock. I also have the stupid £10 voucher to spend, which I haven't figured out what I'm buying with my £10 voucher, because they didn't give you very long at all to spend it, did they? They didn't say that when you signed up to Warhammer. They just said, oh, we're going to give you a £10 voucher, and then they give you it, and they're like, oh, and you have to spend it within a month. I'm like, come on. Would it have killed them to give it a few months? Like, I don't know. The concept for the build of the Lieutenant was as much damage as possible for as little points as possible, says Texan. Well, I mean... yeah, I guess. As much damage as possible for as little points as possible. So tell me how much damage this Lieutenant can do then. Like, what is the full build of him, sorry? Evening, Gitley, how you doing? The Death Company upgrade sound like a good idea. Well, the Death Company upgrade will give you 1 additional attack, right? And it'll give you a 6-up shrug as well, which is always useful, I guess. Especially on a character with a bunch of wounds, a 6-up shrug is going to be helpful. On a Lieutenant, I believe it only costs 10 points, right? It's the Captain that costs 20. I still think it's good on the Captain, though. Like, if you just want a Captain that's going to run in there and cause problems, then I think I'm happy to spend the 20 points. Seemed a little expensive to be a first round distraction. Yeah, the plan wasn't to make the tank a first round distraction, and I've had other games where that tank's taken over and won me the game because you know, Rennie rolled really hot on his saves in turn 1. If he'd rolled badly on his saves, he would have lost his was it Storm? What's that big thing he had with the anchors? Was it called the Storm Talon or something? I'm not really all that familiar with Tau units, but it was the thing that had more wounds than the Riptides anyway. But yeah, I've had games where that tank has shot the enemy right off the table, and anything else that I've been doing in the game has sort of been inconsequential because that tank can... I think that tank can do over 100 wounds per turn, because the main cannon can do 36 wounds. Each of the laser destroyers can do 18, so that's like 72, and then the heavy bolter can do like another 12, so 84 wounds in the configuration that I have it set up at the moment. So if you roll hot and you do 84 wounds in a single phase with one unit, then I mean you're in a good spot, right? But obviously you for that to happen you have to roll hot. So I did not roll hot on Monday night, that's for sure. You got a Z on your left hand. Yeah, no, I wrote an N on my left hand at work to remind me to do something when I got home, because I have a brain like a sieve, and I sat and looked at it for 10 minutes when I got home, and I remember writing an N. So there's a word that starts with N, and it's something I need to do when I got home. But I have no idea what it was. Mick just bought some Volkite Contemptors. Nice. Yeah, the Volkite Contemptors, they're kind of... I guess it's almost, if you can't beat them, join them. Like, they just do so much damage. I'm going to try a list on Monday night against Andrew with 2 of them, and I'm going to use the Chapter Master to give one of them, like, basically reroll all your hits, and I'll use the Tech Marine and the other one to hit on 2s and then reroll 1s because I'm next to the Chapter Master. So, yeah, always nice to paint together. Hello, Discord Reality, thank you for tuning in. Yes, it's always nice just to hang out and paint. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out here as well. It's super appreciated. I have a new video going live on the channel tomorrow, and it's... Camille kind of already said he'd built a Blood Angels. Was it Camille? I think it was Camille. Yeah, he kit bashed a Blood Angels approved Firstborn Librarian. Well, my video tomorrow is going to talk about the Blood Angels approved Firstborn Librarian. I didn't call him that in my video, but yeah, I have a video about tomorrow. Usually I release my videos about UK lunchtime, so every Friday, if you want to get a new Blood Angels video, usually it's tactics related. Sometimes it's something else, like a tournament list or something like that. But yeah, I'm finally moved, so I'm hoping to be able to do more than one video a week now, because I was on a nice cycle where I was getting, like, not every week, but some weeks I was getting 2 videos out. But then I had to start packing up my entire house. Things are a little bit more back to normal now, so hopefully be back to doing more than maybe one video a week sort of thing. Aren't Invader's ATVs really that bad, says JF. I like the Invader ATVs. If you ask in this chat, some people will disagree for sure. The thing people don't like about Invader ATVs, as far as I'm aware, is that they don't have the core keyword, right? But if you look at it like this, right, if you compare an Invader ATV right up against a standard attack bike, it's 25 points more, but what you get for those 25 points more is your main gun becomes assault and gets some more shots, I believe. You get more attacks, and you get 4 more wounds. So normally when we talk about models and we talk about wounds, you normally get charged like about 10 points for every wound you have on a model. So like if you had a term, you know, if you have a Vanguard veteran with like, let's say like a Storm Shield and a Thunderhammer, and you compare them against like a Terminator with a Storm Shield and Thunderhammer, because the Terminator has one more wound and better armor, it's usually going to cost about 10 points more. And I think a Vanguard veteran with a Thunderhammer and Storm Shield is going to be 34 points, and a Terminator with Thunderhammer and Storm Shield is going to be 43 points. So in this case, it's like 9 points difference. But I think the 10 points for a wound is pretty accurate. Like in terms of when I've been looking at the codexes and seeing how stuff is balanced, if a character has one more wound, you usually cost about 10 points more, right? So getting 4 more wounds in the Invader ATV over an attack bike for only 25 points, that alone is probably actually pretty good. The thing that people don't like is that it doesn't have core, right? But it depends how you use them. The way I use my attack bikes at the moment, let me throw in some more tunes. The way I use my attack bikes is that I bring them in from reserve, and when I bring them in from reserve at the edge of the board to like snipe characters or snipe low health vehicles or whatever I bring them in to kill, typically I'm not around anything that's going to give me rerolls because I've brought them in purposely to deal with a threat. So if you're gonna take some Invader ATVs and you're gonna reserve them, and you know you're gonna reserve them, and you're gonna use them like I use them, then the fact they don't have core means nothing. Like, it's irrelevant. Like, they're just an attack bike with 4 more wounds and 25 more points. So in that case, JF, I actually think Invader ATVs are kind of good. I said about a month ago when Games Workshop gave us this £10 voucher, I was like, I'm going to use my voucher to buy an Invader ATV, and everybody was like, no! I haven't bought the Invader ATV, but I don't have a problem with them. I really don't. I know some people do, but I personally do not have a problem with them. Gitley finally finished painting his Lumineth army last night. 40 infantry, 2 characters, and a massive terrain piece in 13 days. Well done, Gitley. Do you have a job, man? Because that is some serious going. I have had an IO depth Deepkin army for about 2 years that doesn't even have a single model made in it. And it's a very cool army, and I think I have about 1,000 points, and I haven't made a single model, so I guess, do you know what, I would get more hobby done if I didn't make YouTube videos, but like, I like the YouTube community that we've building here, so I guess the sacrifice is that I don't get as much hobby as I would like done, but you know, I get to build this big community, so it's fine. I'll get there in the end, I'm sure. On the other hand, it means that I don't really need to buy any models because I've got such a backlog because I can't get through them quick enough. I got some vacation coming up from work though, because I was saving all my vacation days because we were trying to sell our house, you know, so like I couldn't really take vacation because I was like, well, if I might need my vacation days when the house sells, you know, like I didn't know exactly what was happening. Well, you know, like I'll need to move, that sort of thing. So now that I'm all moved and stuff, I could take some vacation and get some serious hobby done. But also, like, I've got a few 40k video games I want to catch up on and maybe stream them at some point as well. Like I never did get around to streaming Battle Sector, which was that new Blood Angels game, and I recently bought Deathwing, which is a PS4 game. It was pretty cheap, like £6. So I want to play that at some point as well. Are 2 land speeders a bad idea? No, I don't think land speeders are a bad idea at all. When I put wash over texture base like yours, the pools come out too shiny. Do you get this too? I was gonna say, I think it maybe depends on how much wash you're putting on. right? Like, look at this character, this Tech Marine. Like, he's been washed. He doesn't look shiny at all. Like, how much wash are we putting on? Because some people sometimes, yeah, I was gonna say you can go quite far with the wash, or you can go quite sparing. If you go far, you end up with tide marks. Like, here's a character that's got some tide marks. Oh shit, let me not knock the thing. Yeah, see here, there's little like tide marks around, like where basic, and that is shiny, you know, that bit there is, I would agree, that is almost quite shiny. Whereas like these Terminators, maybe, I would say they aren't shiny. So if it's gone shiny, it probably means you've put on too much wash, or you've put on, I wouldn't say it's too much wash, it's just you've put on more wash than you need to, right? See, I dry brush afterwards. Like, I do my bases in 3 steps. I do the texture paint, then the wash, then the dry brush. So I can add a bit of detail, or a bit of, yeah, I can add a bit of detail to these with the dry brush step. So like, yeah, watch, like when I'm painting that wash on, it's not, you can see straight away, like it's not really pooling. Like, I haven't putting enough on there for it to pool too much, if that makes sense. So I think maybe you just want to be a little bit lighter on your wash, brother, and then you'll be good. It might not look like much when you're putting it on, but I'm sure when it dries, and here's the thing, if it isn't enough, you can always do another coat, right? So why don't you try putting on like a light coat of the wash? Because that's kind of how mine are quite light. You know, like I put the wash on, you can see it's quite thick, and then I spread it around on the base. I mean, this destroys your paintbrushes, so don't do this on a paintbrush that you care about. But it definitely works. Like, it definitely doesn't dry on too solid, or too shiny rather. What's up, Dracula? Not seen you for a while. How are you? 2 land speeders a bad idea? No, I don't think land speeders are a bad idea at all. Multi-metallas on them, they're fairly cheap, especially if you're on Tech Marines. Tech Marine seems to be the new all the rage now, right? So I finished a 500 point Blood Angels list today, looking to expand with some elites in HQ. What are your top recommendations? Sanguinary Guard are the #1 recommendation for elites. Beyond that, probably Redemptor Dreadnoughts are very strong as well. I'd be hesitant to buy Contemptor Dreadnoughts because I think they're going to get nerfed. I'm kind of surprised they haven't been nerfed already, but Sanguinary Guard and Redemptor Dreadnoughts are kind of the core of my list. And you know, I've got a new video coming out about a Firstborn Librarian with a jump pack tomorrow, so that's what I would get a Firstborn Librarian with a jump pack, get a Sanguinary Guard, and get Redemptor Dreadnoughts. All these things will do you very good. I've not played since like 5th edition, and I played Space Wolves, not Blood Angels. 2 Assault Intercessor Squads, Sanguinary Priest, and Death Company Intercessors. Looking at the Death Company and grab some Infiltrators. Yeah, I mean, Sanguinary Guard I think are Sanguinary Guard are Blood Angel's most damaging unit, so you want Sanguinary Guard. They're not super survivable, but they certainly pack a punch. And there is ways you can make them more survivable. If you've already got the Priest, that's one way. Another way you can do that is with the Firstborn Librarian, as mentioned. You can use Psychic Fortress on them. And there is other ways as well, I guess. What else do I have in my pile of shame? Do you know what? I haven't built... I did a video, it's on the channel, Ryan. At this point, it's probably about a year old. And it's my pile of shame is insane. I have like a Storm Raven, I have a super heavy tank, I have 2 land raiders, I have like 2 predators, I have about 4 Firstborn Dreadnoughts, a Death Company Dreadnought, and then like tons of Terminators, like 50 Terminators, probably like tons of Tactical Marines, let's say like 40 Tactical Marines, maybe like 30 Death Company models. Like, yeah, I don't know, last time I went through it, it was almost 10,000 points in the pile of shame. But I mean, I do I do sort of paint 500 points a month, and I haven't been buying too much, so maybe it's down to like 7,000 or 8,000 points now. But yeah, my pile of shame is pretty big. My painting is always motivated by what is competitive at the moment. So if something is not competitive, then it generally just doesn't get painted, and if it is very competitive, it gets painted. And I bounce around like that. Finished Battle Sector was cool, says Acreal. Yeah, I really want to try it, I just haven't got around to it. I have signed 9 Sanguinary Guard primed. Why does Army Painter super glue take forever to set, and some glue doesn't stick at all? I would get I would honestly get the Gorilla Glue. You'll get it in any hardware store. It is very, very good. I like it a lot. And also, this sort of stuff for the actual Games Workshop plastic is very, very good as well. Revel Model Glue. This stuff's super cheap as well. It comes out in a... This one is broken, but I think I had like 3 of these. It comes out in a very easy to use metal applicator. And yeah, those are the glues I would recommend. The matte medium in washes can settle out, needs a good shake. Yeah, I guess that's true as well. You should always be shaking your washes quite a lot before you use them. But yeah, I mean, I think they go shiny when they pool, when there's too much. Peter says, hey John, big fan of your content. Thanks Peter, I appreciate that. I am working on an Ironclad Dreadnought at the moment. If you had reroll ones to hit from auras, then would you see a case for the Hurricane Bolter? Dreadnoughts can't rapid fire the bolters at maximum range, right? So like you're just going to get 6 shots at 24. You are going to get 12 shots at half range, which is okay. The strength, I think, of an Ironclad, Peter, is the fact that if you have 2 close combat weapons, you're going to get to reroll hit rolls of 1, which means like, which is great, right? Because your Ironclad can basically go fuck off, and he doesn't need to be around any characters or anything like that. You could reserve him, even bring him in from the side of the board and crush some enemy armor. So I would arm the Ironclad with I would arm him with the Dreadnought combat weapon and the Chain Fist, is it? I actually don't own an Ironclad, but I had looked into it. I think it's the Chain Fist, or you don't want the Seismic Hammer, right? Because although the Seismic Hammer seems good, the -1 to hit is gonna... You're gonna be better off, I think, with the Chain Fist, because the Chain Fist has no -1 to hit. If you have 2 close combat weapons, then you're gonna hit on 3s, reroll your 1s, and the Chain Fist is gonna average 4 damage anyway, right? Because it's 2d3. So you're only going to lose 1 damage over what the Seismic Hammer would give you, but you're not going to have to take that -1 to hit. So that would be how I would run my Ironclad. You know, I haven't run them in a little while, but before Chapter Approved came out, I had this mega good list that I was running all the time. I was running in every game. Unfortunately, I never got to go with the tournament with it, but it was a list that had Blade Guard Veterans and Centurions. And the idea was that like the Blade Guard Veterans and the Centurions went centerboard every game for Oath of Moment. And like this list was undefeated and it was brilliant and I loved it. But I didn't take the Hurricane Bolters and the Centurions. I didn't think they were needed, and the Centurions have the same problem with their bolter discipline doesn't let them fire at maximum range. So I don't think it's worth the points, the Hurricane Bolters. I doubt Contemptors will get nerfed. Contemptors are no longer the problem. Weak into Grey Knights, Orcs, and kind of okay into Takari. I don't know if they're weak into Grey Knights, right? Because Grey Knights don't protect against mortal wounds, do they? You look good and your stream quality has improved greatly since I was last here. Greetings, says Climb. Oh, thank you, Climb. I have a new camera, paid and bought for by all the people from YouTube that have those green names. So all the supporters on YouTube, basically I put that money towards like some new camera equipment and stuff like that. So yeah, I have a way better, like the camera I originally started filming with on YouTube was a piece of shit, but you gotta start somewhere, right? So yeah, thanks to all the supporters with the green names in Discord, we have a new camera, and yeah, it's generally much better. I'm not sure what I'm gonna get next for the stream, but I'm always thinking, you know. don't forget the big winged Librarian Dreadnought. That is very true. I have a giant Librarian Dreadnought that has been converted with wings. Yeah, he'd be a cool one to do, Camille. Unfortunately, I'm not running Librarian Dreadnought right now in combat or in competitive, so I don't know why I don't think the Librarian Dreadnought is competitive, because he is kind of good, right? Maybe... I mean, I've played Andrew so many times. Andrew always has like a shitload of meltagun fire, and like the Librarian Dreadnought is actually kind of susceptible to it because he has no invulnerable save, and like he's quite big, so he's hard to hide, and you always want to fly him off and do stuff like wings and stuff, and when you fly him off on his own, then he can get popped by meltaguns. So I've kind of struggled with Librarian Dreadnought as of late, you know that? But yeah, I do have a giant Librarian Dreadnought with giant wings to paint. So I play Deathwatch and recently discovered that I get access to Infernal Pistols. Since they're mainly a bloody thing, do you think they are worth the points on Vanguard vets? Hi Arkin, how you doing? Tino Bean. Yes, I love Infernal Pistols. We talk about this a lot in the stream and in the chat here. Some people think Infernal Pistols really aren't that worth it, I guess, and like would say that they think meltaguns are a lot better. And like I don't disagree that meltaguns are like, I don't think meltaguns are bad by any nature of the means. I just like the fact that Infernal Pistols means if you ever get stuck in combat, you always get to shoot with the pistol, and those pistols will kill just about anything in combat in close range, right? So yeah, I like Infernal Pistols a lot. I run one on my Captain every single game. Sometimes I run them on my Librarian. I always run one in my Sanguinary Guard. For a long time I recommended if you have a squad of Vanguard vets, you would give the Sergeant an Infernal Pistol and a Relic Blade, because I thought that was a pretty good option. You know, it gives him the 2 damage Relic Blade, which I think is strength 7 minus 3, and then an Infernal Pistol. And if you get to Assault Doctrine, that's a lot of AP they have to deal with. So I like Infernal Pistols, but it is a contentious one in the stream. Some people think meltaguns are a lot better. Peter, thank you for the feedback. In the Elites video, you said Chain Fist with the close combat weapon and 2 flamers was the best option. I think it is, Peter. Yeah, I stand by that. I think that is the best, sure. Make sure it's the Gorilla Super Glue. Regular Gorilla Glue is water activated and expands. Yeah, this is the gel stuff. This the one with the blue label. So it comes out kind of like a kind of jelly, I guess, so you can move it around a little bit. Andrew won over Eldor on the Plastic Crackhouse channel, Burgosaurus. I kind of expected Andrew to win. What was Andrew's list, actually, though? Did he play... What did he play? Did he play Sisters, or did he play... Oh, no, he was playing Custodes, was he? Grey Knights of an army-wide 5++ Fees Mortals commander. Okay, so Grey Knights are actually... Yeah, I mean, I think there's a Grey Knights player in the tournament I'm going to, so... I need to actually read up on Nemesis Dread Knights, because the other tournament that I was at, like just beginning of September, a Grey Knights player actually like won the individual performance award, because like I saw his list. His list was just like 3 Nemesis Dread Knights, then 2 character Dread Knights, and then just like a bunch of like whatever they're called, like what's the name of the squads for the Grey Knights? Like it didn't seem like it was a very varied list. It just seemed like it was Dread Knights and like infantry, and yeah, I guess like it won the individual performance. I think the guy went 5-0. I think he might have been the only person that went 5-0. Stupid Grey Knights. Custodes of 6++ against Psychic. Infernal Pistols are so not bad, not amazing. They could put more Infernal Pistols and Axes in the Sanguinary Guard box. Yeah, I mean, Axes and Swords are both very good. I'm going to make a video in the next few weeks. I kind of already scripted it about Axes and Swords, so I'll put out a video on that, but I think both have merit and both have a place. But yeah, they could probably put a few more weapon options in some of those boxes, right? It's a little bit annoying. Also, Grey Knights have a 2-up save. Combi Melters are better than Infernal Pistols, much better strategic choice, more valuable. Yeah. I guess Sanguinary Guard can't run Combi Melters though, right? Nemesis Dread Knights are gross, nearly as nasty as in 5th edition. Yeah, I don't know why I don't know why Grey Knights are so strong at the moment. I'll definitely need to do a little bit. I haven't played against them. I kind of wish I had now. But maybe I need to read into them. So who in the chat has got experience playing against Grey Knights then? GT Money, new at 40k, going Blood Angels, got the full Indomitus box, and what next to buy model wise? Doing a personal escalation league. I can actually link you GT Money. I will link you it's like a Google Drive spreadsheet that basically tells you how to build Indomitus into like a full army, right? Because I made this for a video maybe 6 months ago, so give me 1 second and I will link you this in the chat. I've got the Grey Knight box. Does that link come through in chat? I don't know. 1 second, let me see. Yeah, alright, so click that link in chat. Yeah, it should take you straight into like a presentation on Indomitus box and how you build it into Blood Angels. I hope it's useful. If you've got any questions, you can just ask. I'll be here for the next hour and a half. And then back probably Saturday night. I faced some Dread Knight spam lists. It's insane how mobile the suits are. I think we absolutely crumped them in melee. Sanguinary Guard cannot take Combi Mentals, this is true, but I feel like the Infernal Pistols aren't doing great anyway. Strike Squads, I think that's the Grey Knights. Yeah, I think that rings a bell, some sort of Strike Squad. So yeah, the folk that have fought against Grey Knights, how did you if you've beaten them, give me some info, because my next tournament is in like, not this weekend, not the next weekend, but the weekend after that. Who's on the Sunday list show, says Lord Lethargic. Let me check. Sunday. We've got you, Lord. We've got Cameron J. We've got Nell Haru. And I think Steel Rain actually submitted a list for members, but I haven't added it to the queue yet, so I think it'll be Steel Rain as well. I think that'll be our 4 lists for Sunday's show. Lord Lethargic, sorry. You're gonna have to tell me how you pronounce your name. Lysergic? Is that right? I'm like the worst at pronunciation. Like, I was always a C student at English. I read generally very badly. I pronounce generally very badly. And I think the problem with that is because we're up in the north. Lysergic? Okay. Thank you. Up in the north of Scotland, we use slang for like every word has a slang version of it. Like, so because everything is slang, it actually makes like writing and reading, I think, for children very, very difficult, because just everything is abbreviated. If it can be abbreviated, it is abbreviated. And then it's just so actually pronunciation is not, it's like something I'm terrible at. So if I butcher anyone's name, I gotta apologize. So Black Templar Impulsors can take multi-metals, which kind of makes them amazing. I hope this is a change they implement to all Space Marine Impulsors. Interesting. And how many points is it? Is it 25 points for to add a multi-metal to it? Went to an entire super major, adding some anti-psyker stuff to my list and didn't face them once. Well, I'm running Soul Warden in my list because I kind of think Soul Warden is just generally very good against any sort of army that's going to kick out Mortal Wounds. I've played against Thousand Suns twice since the new codex. One lost the first one, won the second one, and the second one was at the tournament. So I feel okay about playing Thousand Suns, but yeah, I haven't fought Grey Knights yet. Alright, this is the last base for this squad of guys, and then we'll let these dry a little bit. But these guys all needed based because I'm not sure if I'm probably not running the Terminators at the tournament, but I wanted to get them based anyway. So I've got like 10 Terminators here on this desk now based. What do you use to transport your army to tournaments? I got my first event coming up and debating getting Battle Foam bag, but it's a big cost on top of everything else. Yeah, Battle Foam is good, but it's kind of expensive. The one that I used, which is just basically the same stuff, is called KR Multicase. Let me see if I get their website. KR Multi. Yeah, just krcases.com. That's the URL. I've ordered from them twice. I should probably see if they do referral links, so if anyone ever asks me, I can share a referral link and get like a kickback if you buy from KR. But yeah, I've got an referral link for Element Games. Element might sell KR cases. Let me check. Oh, Element do sell KR cases. Oh, interesting. Elements sell like a huge range of cases, actually. Whereabout are you from? If you're in the UK, you could use the Element links. But the advantage of using the KR website is that you can actually pick. You can pick the foam Elysium based on exactly what you need. So you can tell it like, hey, I have these models, and it'll say, all right, if you've got these models and you want them to fit in, you buy like this tray. I mean, before, when I was younger and didn't have any money, I kind of did it ghetto with like biscuit tins and like toilet roll. So like just wrapped every model in like 2 or 3 sheets of toilet roll and then fired it into like a Quality Street box or something. You get like 10 models in each box. So that's a really cheap option if you want. I mean, it's not going to be as good, but it will work. One piece of advice against Grey Knights is keep track of which HQ is the teleportation relic. It's a relic that one shot at the bearer can zip somewhere else once per game. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. I magnetized my models base and just put them into metal containers. Work great. That website is so retro. I love it. It's actually it's definitely a retro website, but like their cases are pretty good. Is that gonna hold, or I'm gonna have to hold it for longer? Is there a way I can balance this? Maybe like this? No, don't fall over. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna let that leg set for a few minutes. Yeah, like, let me just ping open my case back here. Oh, do you know what? I'll pick the case up first. So I got like the hard case from K&R, right? So it's like this giant metal box, look, with my Blood Angels logo on it. And then I think it was about $80, so not quite as expensive as Battle Foam. But like, it's just you know, just this sort of thing. So you just buy, like, so these ones were originally this size, so I just cut them and fitted in bigger models in some of the ones that like they weren't made for, I guess. But you can buy all manner. So like on the next layer down, I'll just take it out and show you as well. I got a Dreadnought in this layer, so let me try not to hit the camera. Yeah, you can see, like, so it's just different size. So K&R is pretty good. Like, I've taken these models hundreds of miles in the car and they've been fine. And I've seen battle foam. Battle foam's quite expensive. You're in the UK, so you use my element link. Then peace. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. But yeah, yeah, I have two different K&R cases. You can get the ones with the big solid shells like that, or you can, if you need to go a bit cheaper, K&R actually do just ones that are like in big cardboard boxes. So you know when you get a package from Amazon and it's in like those big cardboard boxes, they basically almost have like open. Do you know what? I'm just going to show you. Give me one sec. So like this is the case, right? But if we go inside the case, the only reason this is branded Terminator because it was cheap and I wanted a cheap case. They actually have like just a cardboard box, right? Like it's literally a cardboard box that you open it, and obviously you've got your foam and you've got your different cutouts. This one's got a hole for a dreadnought and some other bigger models. This is why I bought this for the, not the dreadnought, the drop pod, sorry. But if you want to go a bit cheaper, you can literally just buy the cardboard box like this to begin with, right? It's got a handle and everything. And you could just buy a couple of those cardboard boxes in the future, knowing that they actually sell bags and stuff. And the reason I liked this bag was just because, one, it was cheap. I guess the Terminator stuff was going out of fashion, and I actually kind of like Terminator the movie. So, and it's got like a shoulder strap, right? So like super cheap, super easy. But yeah, so you could do it halfway round if you wanted to just buy the cardboard first. That would totally work. Save yourself a bit of money until you're ready to buy a bag later. And I think on K&R, if you look, they tell you like this case will fit this cardboard box, etc., stuff like that. But yeah, someone else is right. If you stick a little magnets to the bottom of all your models, you can then, what I'm trying to say, if you stick magnets to the bottom of all your models, you can then just get like a sheet of metal, or some sort of like, again, a box from Amazon where you put like a thin metal sheet bought from a hardware store, and they just all stick to and they don't move around at all, which is essentially what the foam, you know, like if you're buying foam, you're buying foam to stop them moving around, right? So it's basically exactly the same thing. Good evening, Emil. How you doing? Hope you're well. If in the US you can go to Harbor Freight and pick up a ride case for the same foam for $60. Yeah, I mean, you could probably get something out of like a hardware store that's kind of the same idea, you know, that would, yeah. But I've seen the battle foam bags. Some of them are very cool. I like them. It's just all budget, isn't it? But I feel kind of dirty if I'm going to run two Relic Contemptors, because I do think they're just kind of... Well, each one just does 5 mortal wounds a turn, right? At 45 inches. Take care, Ryan. I'm sure we'll catch you soon. No worries. Alright, cool. I guess we're waiting on those to dry. And then... I'm just going to move this guy gingerly over here. So I got these Contemptor arms, but they're kind of... a kind of lower quality print for sure. Watching glue dry instead of paint. Yes, I really need to make this Contemptor because I'm going to need to field it, and I need to remember where I need to. I was going to say, I don't even know if I'm magnetizing this. I think I'm just. I don't think I am. So I don't know how easy this will be to cut. Apparently quite easy. Oh, and it's quite clean as well. Cool. Okay, I wasn't sure what to expect. I have no idea what this is 3D printed in. I run 2 Volkite Contemptors and 1 Redemptor on my list, and I no longer have a soul. So what is the rest of your list? Because I was thinking of running... I was thinking of running 2 Volkite Contemptors and 2 Redemptors, but is that overkill? Here's the question. I thought you already had 2 Volcons. No, I just have 1 Volcon at the moment. It's the Blood Angel specific one from Forge World is the one that I have so far. And I kind of want to get another one, but they've been out of stock so long, and probably by the time they come in stock and I get one, by the time I get one, it'll be nerfed and there'll be no point of getting it. So that's why I haven't got one, and I've just got this crappy 3D printed one. What do you think of the Org Speedwag meta with the Death Company jump packs being a hard counter? I don't know, I think the Death Company would be exposed and killed by the rest of the units with the Speedwag, because the Speedwag are potentially like -2 and -3s, so your Death Company just will not save reliably enough against them. I don't think Death Company are hard counter to the Speedwag. I've played against the Speedwag, and I killed just about every model and still just about lost the game, because the Speedwag is kind of ridiculous, honestly. I don't know what they were thinking when they wrote that book, but they made them horrendously powerful. I wish I had you guys met so many freebooters and Grey Knights. Yeah, I mean, freebooters is freebooters worse than the Blood Axis though? Do you think it's better than the Blood Axis? Because freebooters means that once you kill a unit, you get +1 to hit, right? But the Blood Axis means that like the Orc Buggies can fall back and shoot, right? Pretty much the same as what you're running: a Captain, a Blood Angels, Librarian, a Soul Ward, and Tet Marine, Blade Guard, Sanguine Guard, Meltabikes, and Scepters, and some Phobos from objectives. So you're running Battalion, Antoine, or what? And also, do you think you still get value out of Librarian? I assume you take Psychic Fortress and Chief Librarian. Do you still think you get value out of that, even if you only have 1 Redemptor? I'm running 2 Impressors and 2 Redemptors. Do you mean Impulsors? Or thoughts on building Vanguard Veterans, John? I'm going to make 15, I think 5 Heavy Thunderhammers with shields, 5 Double Lightning Claw, and 5 more. Not sure how to build the last 5. Maybe just cheap. Heavy Thunderhammers are Death Watch only, Chris. You know that, right? So you can only build them with Thunderhammers, I guess, for Blood Angels. It's kind of like small print in the book on the page, I think, for Vanguard Veterans for the Space Marine Codex, where it talks about Heavy Thunderhammers, but they are Death Watch only, because I was excited when I saw them as well. What I would genuinely recommend for Vanguard Veterans is you need to magnetize at least one of their arms on like half the models, because I bought 10 Vanguard Veterans and it had 3 with Thunderhammer, 3 with Power Fist, 3 with Chainsword, and then the Lightning Claw meta appeared, so I had to do 10 more with Lightning Claws. And once I'd done 5 with Lightning Claws, for the last 5 I magnetized them so I could switch out the Lightning Claws and the shields for other options, because doing 20 of them was fine, but like I don't, 20 of the same model gets a bit old, I suppose. So does anyone have the Blood Angel Flying Contemptor? Does the jump pack come off of it? I have no idea if the jump pack comes off the Flying Contemptor. It's a Forge World specific model. Someone Speedwag tournament win round 1 needs a nerf. Yeah, I mean, you're right, Kim, it does need a nerf, and I think Reziel's right as well. There's no real counter for it. I would generally recommend, Chris, that you try and magnetize some of the arms. If you've not done that before, it's not difficult. It's really not that difficult. It's just a case of just making the commitment to doing it, I guess. Right, so I have an actual official base here, and I have the cheap 3D printed one that came with this model. The official one's actually bigger. I don't know if that helps me, but I mean, I guess I should use the official one. I don't know how he's going to stand on it though. Something like this? Yeah, we'll make it work. Forlorn Fury tier 1 with consolidation seemed to break it. Well, not if he's Blood Axes though, Dave Pikey, because he can fall back and shoot. So he just falls back and shoots your whole Death Company off the board. Freebooters are 100% better, going from hitting on 5s to 4 is a 50% increase in shooting. Also, the way they work, every unit they kill is an additional +1 to hit, so fuck your defense. Yeah, but they cap at +1 to hit, right? Like, they can never get more than +1 to hit, right? I think Reziel says the same thing. Like, I don't think the Death... As much as we maybe want the Death Company to sound like a counter, I don't think it's a counter. I mean, maybe it's better against freebooters than it is Blood Axes, but, like, I still don't think it's a counter. I dropped the Whirlwind to 2 Sanguinary Guard for the additional Contemptor. Redemptor pushes middle with Blade Guard and some chaff. Libby is very nice. Toughness 8 Redemptor or Null Zone are sometimes key. Alright. Appreciate the feedback, Antoine. Maybe I should try on Monday night the single Redemptor. Impulsors with Blade Guard veterans. I mean, Impulsors would help against the buggies and stuff. I don't know if it... I still don't think it beats it. We're using freebooters. Yeah, I mean, sure. But there's nothing to say he can't fall back that one squad and then shoot you with everything else, right? And Death Company aren't going to get much of a save. One of the Orc War podcasts I listened to this week were talking about the Orcs, and if I'm not mistaken, they were agreeing Blood Axes weren't the strongest version. Yeah, I mean, maybe not, I guess. Blood Axes have the ability to reserve 3 of their units though, which is pretty cool too. So they could reserve a few units, make it more difficult for you to even... So even if you go first, some of the key Orc buggies aren't on the board, so you can't shoot them, right? Robert Twite says ATVs with Meltas. I mean, Meltas will kill them, but your ATVs will get munched. Those buggies are just too... They're just too cheap, and they have too many... They have too many shots, I guess, right? Like, I don't think there's anything else to say there except they're kind of too cheap and they get too many shots. Good evening, The End. How you doing, brother? The Orcs just won SoCal Open. You could look up that list. Yeah, Auspex Tactics did a video on that list today. So again, shout out to Auspex Tactics if you want to see the Orc list that won the tournament. I think it was today. Maybe he did the video yesterday, but like if you go to Auspex Tactics, you'll find it on the front page of his channel. And Yeah, I mean, there's just so much AP coming out from that orc army with the Speedwag, and there's so many shots. Like some of those bikes, some of those planes getting like 40 shots, and they can shoot twice. Or it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Forget orcs, who's ready for the Tau meta wipe next year? Yeah, I mean that's true, right? The new Tau codex will come out and they'll shoot everybody off the table. If the person that wrote the orc codex is writing the Tau codex, we got a problem. The bodyguards for sisters might be why. Yeah, I think the sister sacrosancts are a great unit. I think maybe Andrew relies on them a little bit too much in his list, but yeah, I think overall they're great, the sacrosancts, and some of the stuff you can do with them as far as like protecting your characters. Like Celestine and her characters, and Morgan Val is generally very good. I think sisters have a pretty strong codex. Like they weren't right there at the beginning of 9th edition, but like their codex has a lot of way to put mortal wounds out. They obviously get those auto denies. They have some really nice characters. The reroll all hits and all wounds that Morgan Val can put out is also really nice. Like, you know, like I think I run Chapter Master rerolls every game, and I'm like, yeah, Chapter Master rerolls are strong. Well, Morgan Val does it just one step further, doesn't she? She just does reroll hits and wounds, you know. So yeah, I think sisters are I think they're in not a bad place, I guess. I like the sisters as they currently are. I think they're strong. I'm actually surprised maybe that like there hasn't been any tournaments that they've won, because I think you can probably win tournaments with sisters lists. They have a lot of tools in 9th edition that they maybe didn't have before. Greenskins go pew pew. Yeah, greenskins definitely go pew pew now. That is... It's kind of a joke in itself, but it's so true. The greenskins are doing a lot of pew pew. It was Zephyrin that were killing the jets. Yeah, I mean Zephyrin with Morgan Val are absolutely deadly, right? Because Zephyrin have like that banner that lets them reroll their charge, so they can move a lot. They can reroll their charge. Morgan Val can hit them with reroll all hits and all wounds. They're hitting on 3s. You can also, I think there was a stratagem to give them +1 to wound as well. My prediction for Tau is 18-inch move drones, marker lights, that if the drone sees the unit it's attached to, it can shoot you no matter line of sight. I think Rennie's Tau from Monday night, he's done a really great job on those models. They look super cool. I like the white. White is so painful to paint, so yeah, he's done a great job there. And yeah, I guess we'll see what happens with Tau. Like the way that this game works is every time a new codex comes out, for a little while that faction is kind of, it's on top, isn't it, right? And I think that's maybe where some people get frustrated, because like when I was playing against Scott, he's running Dark Angels, and he was saying that he's like frustrated that like, I mean, arguably Dark Angels are maybe in a better position than Blood Angels in some ways, but like he was basically saying like it's frustrating when you come up against these new lists from the other armies and they just shoot you off the table so effectively, and like everything is so cheap. Like, what are you supposed to do? And I was like, yeah, it's just the way that 40k has been now for a little while, right? Yeah, you're right, D-King. Drakari are still very strong. Like, Raiders are brilliant. Like, Raiders At the tournament I was at, I played against 2 Dakari, and both the players had 6 raiders. Now, normally you have that rule where you can only have 3 of the same unit, right? But like troops and dedicated transports are sort of exempt to that rule. But the fact that they're running 6 raiders just tells you something. Like, you don't put 6 of the same unit on the battlefield if you don't think it's super strong, right? Yeah, raiders for me they're very good as well. I don't think Drukhari are as broken as the orcs, I guess. I think just more players play Drukhari, and more good players maybe play Drukhari. Not, you know, the speed orcs are kind of a newer breed of orcs. Like, they didn't exist, let's say, like 2-3 years ago. So potentially just less people have the models. Hard to make Tau competitive in this terrain meta we all like, unless they get around line of sight. They're a one-phase army. Yeah, that's very true. Tau are a one-phase army, but you know, we have seen some new units for other armies that are trying to push them away from being so one-phase. Love these black drone bases. I mean, that's just standard bases, I guess. I always think it's very satisfying painting the bases, the trim of the bases black, though. Something very satisfying about it. Just maybe it's because it makes the models feel like nice and clean and almost complete, maybe, even though these guys are far from complete. I don't know. Social Dark Angels beat freebooters every time. They're a good counter. Codex creep is a thing. You're very right, JT. Codex creep is a thing. In the land of Codex creep, the newest Codex is king, and I think that is very true, I think. But I mean, Games Workshop are a business. They're going to want to sell new models, so stuff always comes out more powerful, maybe, and then gets slowly tweaked down. I think if they did it the other way, more people would be happy, right? Like, yeah, it's a tough one, because like, you don't want to buy your new codex and be like, wow, I just bought my new codex and things are super underwhelming. I mean, we kind of got that anyway with our Blood Angels codex this edition, but it's not great, right? So you kind of want to be selling codexes to people and be like, wow, look at all this cool stuff you get in the codex, so you're going to want to buy the codex, you know? So yeah, they're in a rock and a hard place. I can't decide. I think the balance has been poor the last 6 months, though. I don't think I got much else to say on that, except like, I just think it's been poor. I don't really want to complain about balance. I just think that they could definitely do a better job if they wanted to balancing some of the new units. I usually paint the sides with brick or earth texture, by the way. Hi stream. Hey Anthony, nice to see you. I want a Titan someday too. They look badass. Yeah, we have a Warhound Titan in the room where we play on Monday nights. Remind me one time you're watching the stream and we'll give it a close-up. Black Templars are a great example of underwhelming. I thought Black Templars were going to be good. I think Andrew used them one time against Colin on stream. He said they were very good. I just want more Space Marines with jump pack options. Yeah, I mean, I think we all want some jump pack options for the Primaris Space Marines. That would be nice, right? I'm actually... If you asked me a year ago, I'd be like saying to you, like, I'm surprised we've had no jump packs for the Primaris, and that was a year ago, so I don't even know what to say at this point. Like, they've just forgotten that they didn't give jump packs to any of the Primaris models. You know, all their battle reports in Warhammer Plus, they're all about trying to shift Primaris models. Well, all you need to do is make some Primaris jump units for Blood Angels and you'd shift a lot of models, like, because I'm pretty sure everybody would buy them, right? and I'm coming up on like 8,000 subscribers now, so there's 8,000 Blood Angels fans in the world. If everybody buys a box of new jump pack stuff, that's a lot of money, I assume, right? If you charge $30 a box. What is 30 times 8,000? 30 times 8 is 240. And then you'd put 3 zeros after it? Yeah, so if you brought out a new box of jump units and every Blood Angels player that subscribed buys one, that's £250,000? Or $250,000, however you want to look at it. That's why I really think... I really thought last edition when they released that box, Marneus Calgar and his 2 Victrix guards, I was like, oh cool, Calgar's gone over the Rubicon. It's only a matter of time before Dante goes over the Rubicon and we get a box like Primaris Dante plus, like, you know, it used to have Honor Guard, but I guess they became the Sanguinary Guard, so Dante plus Sanguinary Guard, Primaris Sanguinary Guard in a box, Primaris Dante. I was like, cool, I cannot wait for this. And I honestly remember saying, like, I think Marneus Calgar and his Victrix Guard came out in 8th edition. So I probably said this at this point like 2 years ago. So what can you do, huh? Templar are not underwhelming, they're balanced. Orc Sisters and Eldar are not balanced. I think Sisters are okay to fight against. I don't know if I feel Sisters are overpowered. Like do people in the chat feel Sisters are overpowered? Because like I beat them every single time I play them, or is that just Andrew doesn't run good Sisters lists? I think in the last, like, so I must have fought Andrew's Sisters 20 times. In the last 10 of them, I've won 9 of the games. He beat me 1 time. But then saying that, when we went to the tournament, we played against like the winning tournament team. We played against them, and Andrew, one of their players was playing White Scars, and Andrew beat them with his Sisters. You know, so you can't be that bad a player if he beats the winning tournament team with he beats the White Scars with his Sisters, right? Because the White Scars are quite a meta army, I guess, right? Like they have a really nice advance and charge ability, and also fall back and charge ability, right? Which I guess syncs super nice with Shock Assault, so they can always get their Shock Assault attacks up. And they can also do 2 damage on some of their... They can get an additional point of damage on some of their weapons as well, right? Sisters are a baseline better army than Marines now, I believe that. Yeah, how much baseline though, Rezio? Like 10%? 20% better? Like if you had to pull a number out of the hat, how much better a percent are Sisters against Marines? Like, I agree they're better, but like I don't think it's insurmountable. Like 10% better, maybe 15. Like it's not horrendous. Yeah, I mean maybe that's what. Maybe that's right, Tony. They have a good codex with a lot of options, where our codex was a little bit limiting this edition. 5% of the right list, says Davey. You guys excited for the weekend? I am so excited. After moving house last week, I really haven't had any time to enjoy the new house, you know, because it's just like we were moving, then straight after we got moved, we're back at work. So I am really looking forward to just throwing my feet up this weekend and chilling out a bit. Sisters are fine. They have strengths and weaknesses. Their biggest strength is arguably just mitigation with the miracles. People really love the Black Rims, huh? Alright. I thought it was kind of standard that people just painted the rims black, right? I mean, back in the day, you used to paint them goblin green. I mean, I had some that were goblin green and I painted over them black or tan because... I mean, I don't like the goblin green. I don't dislike it. I mean, I just think it was kind of didn't age very gracefully, did it? Sisters are in a way better to pair with AdMech, or do they have their own mixed up? I know some of the lore and animations seem to pair them together. Yeah, Sisters have a few things, I guess, like the pennant engines and stuff like that, and they are decent, but they're not AdMech units, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Sisters are probably like 10% better than Marines. I would agree with that. And I think Drukhari are maybe another 5% on top of that, because like I think the Drukhari have so many options, and you combine all those options with all their troops being able to be in those raiders, and like Drukhari can be a nightmare to fight against. I paint the rim according to class, gold for characters, silver for elite, so that's pretty cool. Sisters will get shot at by AdMech. Yeah, that's very true as well. Sisters will get shot at by AdMech. A lot of armies will get shot at by AdMech though, right? AdMech won that GT in Orlando in the first turn against Deathwatch, right? Like, you just shot up the whole Deathwatch army so much in turn one that the guy didn't even play a turn, right? The AdMech took turn one and the other guy didn't even play his turn one. He was just like, alright, good game. I've done okay against Sisters, but usually playing smaller games and more relaxed beer hammer scene. Only army I seem to struggle with playing against is Death Guard. They're nasty in 1k games. Have you watched the video that I've got on this channel, Elysium, about fighting Death Guard? Because I fight Death Guard a lot, and like, I don't really fear Death Guard. I think Death Guard are slow enough that we can really beat them every game by using our speed against them to a certain extent. And I imagine in 1,000-point games you don't see Mortarion much, so if you don't have Mortarion to deal with, then you should probably be able to beat Death Guard. Go find the video. I think if you search my channel just for like Death Guard, you'll find a video. It's probably called something like How to Build Death Guard. New Custodes mono, new Berserkers, etc. Hopefully we will hear about the Iron Veil book. Give us some hope for a couple of new units. Yeah, I don't know, Dave Pike. I've been reading, because I've moved house this last week. I've actually been listening to a Warhammer audiobook on the walk to work. The Solar War by John French, I believe it is, and it's the first book in the. I finally got back to it because I was listening to it maybe like 6 months ago, but honestly, it feels like a bit of a slog. Has anyone here read through Solar War? Did anyone enjoy it? How are the next books in that series? Are they worth getting? Because where I am, I'm on like chapter 20, 22 or something. I'm real near the end. And spoilers. Yeah, I'm not really going to do spoilers. I'm just going to say I'm real near the end, but it feels a little bit like a slog. Has anyone read through that book? Because I really wanted to read because it's 7 books, right? And like, I assume on the 7th book we actually have the fight of like Sanguinius and the Emperor on Horus's battle barge, like the Vengeful Spirit. So I assume that's where this whole 7-book story like leads to. I really want to read that part. but the first book seems like a bit of a slog. I feel Admech took Tao's niche, and now I'm curious how GW manages. I don't think Admech took Tao's niche. Have you fought against a melee Admech army? Like, Admech can do so much damage in melee. Here's the thing, Admech have like a strat in melee where they can just all of a sudden like get one. It's like 2 CP, they can get like 2 extra attacks for every model in a unit. I can't remember what it is, but when the Admech player played it, I was like, oh my god, what I wouldn't give as a Blood Angels player for a strat that's like, oh well, one of my best units can just get +2 attacks this turn per model. I was like, wow, this is so good. I don't know why they got... I don't know why Admech get that and Blood Angels don't, you know? So I'm not sure they've taken the shooting niche, because Admech can do they can do anything they want to do. I'm still in the proper Horus Heresy finishing Ruinstorm. Okay. Martin says it's slow, yeah. Sanguinary and Agron is next, I think. They're stretching the Siege of Terra series out too long, but the books are alright. Yeah, maybe it's just this first book has definitely felt... I was into it at the start, but like the second half of the book, you know when you've read you're reading it or you're listening to it and you're thinking, there's not much happening here. It definitely feels like a slog. Saturn is absolutely fabulous. Alright, then I guess I will power on and get through this first book. I'll probably finish it tomorrow. And maybe start the next one next week, because I was half thinking about going on and reading a Star Wars book next, because I haven't read a Star Wars book in a few years, and I really hated all those new Star Wars movies, so I like reading the books. I'm on Warhawk now, so I was going to say, what are the books in the series? Like what? Because there was The Last Wall, right? What comes after Solar War? I need to check. I definitely have like the first 3 or 4 of them. But yeah, I was just wondering if they got better, because this first one felt like a slog. I'm going back to the Game of Thrones audiobooks now. See, I don't know if I could go back to Game of Thrones. I was really enjoying it until the last season, and then like the last season happened, and spoiler to anyone who hasn't seen the last season of Game of Thrones, it was terrible. Did you read all the Horus Heresy books or pick or choose some? No, I read like the first 3, but I honestly read the first 3 at this point. But I read the first 3 when they came out, Rezio, so that would have been like oh god, I want to say it was like 2011. Yeah, it was probably a decade ago at this point, so like I really don't remember. The first wall is damn awful. Okay, alright. I don't know. It sounds like they've tried to stretch the series out a little bit too far. Maybe that's what the problem is. But yeah, so I read some of the Horus Heresy books when they first came out like a decade ago, because I went on holiday to Florida in 2011, and like I bought the first 3 to read on the plane. I remember that. This was back like before people had Kindles and stuff like that, and you actually bought books. Because I probably got them. They're probably sitting downstairs from when because I've kept a lot of my books and my old CDs and stuff, so because I was finding them when I was moving house. I was like, oh, look at all these old books I've got. Greetings, Highland Phoenix. John Fringe is one of the weaker Black Library authors for sure. Okay. Gav Thrope is very good. He must have written some of the ones in the... Because he wrote the Dante and the Visiston book, and I really enjoyed that one. What's happening with you, Highland Phoenix? I think I started reading the Horus Heresy about 2 or 3 years ago, and I've just been powering through. Nice. Well, I basically have an hour commute now, every day, so I will be powering through books again. So the first couple of days it was rough, but like I felt like today I just nailed it. Like I'm obviously moved a bit out of town to get like a nicer house, so yeah. Cool, that is all those bases done. Took quite a lot of time actually, but there's quite a lot of models that I've been basing this last few weeks. Oh, you actually like John French? Talleyrand is badass. Well, John French wrote this first book, and I really feel it's quite slow. I was enjoying it at the beginning, but the last few chapters have definitely been a bit of a slog. Alright, let's get this next little bit of this guy sorted. I think this one is going in this way. Just finished my Vanguard veteran conversion yet, but that's a job for the weekend. Have you shared photos of that Vanguard veteran conversion anywhere? Because you've been working on that for a while, right? Elysium says, I'll check that video out. They're usually close games, but I'm usually up against 10 Blightlords, and once they get to the center board, I can't shift them reliably. You got Null Zone in your list, Elysium, because Null Zone will shift Blightlord Terminators. Or Volkite Contemptors. Either of those two things will shift Blightlord Terminators. Runestorm is the third part of the team up between the Lion, Sanguinius and Gilman, and I gotta say that whole arc is epic. So should I just read Runestorm then? Or do I need to read more than Runestorm, I guess? Alright, yeah, when they're stuck together, I'd love to see them, Highland, because you've been talking about those conversions for I feel like a long time. That could be harsh. You could be like, I've only been working on them in a month. How dare you say that about me? But I feel like you've been mentioning it for a while, or maybe you only bought them recently. This is what you use nail files for. Filing Warhammer. You're hoping you get to see me at the Las Vegas Open. I would love to come to the Las Vegas Open. It will not be in the next year or so. I imagine the Las Vegas Open would cost... I don't know, I'm going to say it would cost the best part of 10 grand, would it? To get over there, to fly, to have the hotel... travel, all that sort of stuff. I don't know. Maybe not 10 grand, maybe 7 or 8, but probably at least 5. One day perhaps we will do the Las Vegas Open. I'd like to do it. I've never visited Vegas, Dave. I just don't know if it will be quite as soon as next year. Plus next year I will have a baby, a 0-year-old. And as good as my wife is, it's pretty harsh to just leave her with the 0-year-old, because 0-year-old babies are pretty hard work in my opinion. Fear to Tread, The Unremembered Engine, Angels of Caliban and Runestorm. The bits are taking a while to clean, and I haven't had the time over the month to work on the Vanguard veterans. Yeah, Forge World stuff does sometimes take a while to clean. Maybe I would like to get some of those... I need to get through my backlog of stuff first. It doesn't help that I'm literally building another Relic Contemptor right now, does it? Anything that's competitive just skips the queue of my backlog, and it's like, oh, this is competitive, I need to build it. I'm going to paint this guy in a week, so the paint job on him is going to be rough. Speed paint. I never do speed paints. All right, let's say that this 3D printed this 3D printed Contemptor. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look good either. But it'll do. It'll be a good proxy for the tournament. We'll try. I think we'll try it on Monday night. I think we'll try two. We'll try two relic Contemptors. Why not? That foot didn't stick. God damn it. I'm also not running a librarian at the moment, but that's on the list. Usually shoot them with quake bolts, chaplain drops Litany of Hate, and then put 10 Vanguards on them. Sometimes it works, but sometimes not so much. Yeah, I mean, if you hit them with Null Zone, you're still going to need quite a lot of AP, I suppose. Power Swords? Power Swords in Null Zone would actually be very good. Or Blade Guard Veterans would actually be very... Blade Guard Veterans... I mean, the problem with the Blade Guard Veterans is that they don't get the minus one damage comes back to hurt them, but yeah. I mean, I guess Power Swords would be good against... Blight Lords can be difficult to deal with, I guess. Alright, maybe I'll do a little bit of work on this tech marine now, because he was pretty close. I need a little bit of cleanup on this axe. Maybe a bit of dry brush on the staff. Or sorry, washing on the staff. Here's the problem, I did this guy like a month ago now, so I can't quite remember what I've done and what I haven't done on him. But whatever, we'll try and make it work. 2 golden flying boys is one too many. Is it though? I think we're just going to have to hold out hope that they improve some of our named characters' rules, right? Like, I guess there's no two ways about it. Some of our named characters need their rules improved a little bit, and we're just going to have to hope that that comes sooner rather than later. There is supposed to be 25 Sanguinary Guard, that's right. Lightning Claws are very good against Blight Lords. I guess Lightning Claws would be good, but they'd be even better with Null Zone, right? The good folks at Frontline Gaming would sure love to have you out. Well, that's very kind. I will definitely try and get out at some point, and probably not with a 1-year-old baby man, but I appreciate the offer. Alright, this is going to be delicate because I'm just going to tidy up some of this edge highlighting on this axe. Oh, you're very welcome, Elysium. I'm glad that the advice has helped. Honestly, anytime you get any questions, just come hang out, just ask them, it's fine. The reason I started the channel, I guess, was because I figured there's, you know, 40k is a pretty complex game, right? If you're struggling, it's nice to have someone that can like just give their 2 cents or back up you or something a little bit. John, stop dropping the models, god damn it. The Tech Marine is looking good. Oh, thanks, man. This is a cool model, the Primaris Tech Marine. I really like it. My problem is when I do edge highlights, I never get them as thin as I would like. I find like with edge highlights, it's either too thin or it's too thick, right? Like I can either put them on really thin or I can put them on too thick. So I always end up going back like this and try and tidying them up. And I always make mistakes, which means then I always end up having to go back to the first color and do it again. I struggle to see some of this stuff sometimes, but I think if you take the time on these, you can get some really nice effects. I will glaze that. I'll leave that a few minutes to dry, and then I'll glaze that whole bit of the blade with like something like Gilliman glaze or something, and it'll just give it a nice sort of energy feel. But yeah, I mean, that's the one thing we get look forward to, right? The new models all look so cool. So like when we do get new Blood Angels casts or whatever, I imagine, you know, like you see all that new sick shit that they've got in Age of Sigmar, like we're gonna get some really cool looking stuff. It's just a case of when are we gonna get that really cool stuff, I guess. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later, right? I guess no one can really say. Gilman Blue was discontinued, was it? Because I have a whole pot of it. I feel sad now. That's the glaze I use on all my power swords. I was like, what the hell am I going to do when I run out of this last bottle then? I have to go to eBay. I'm trying to put on just like the thinnest application of Null Oil over this. Some of these chains and some of these pipes, just to give them a tiny bit more definition. Oh really? So what did they replace Guilliman Blue with? How did I miss this? They just don't do glazes anymore, or what? Take it easy, Arkin. Nice to see you. I like how distraught you are. They replaced it with contrast. Tekis blue is... Oh man, contrast. Contrast! I'm not really a fan of contrast, you know that? I have one pot of contrast and that's it. Talisor blue plus contrast medium should match. Alright, I guess I could make my own. I guess I use that blue so infrequently that it should last probably a few years, to be honest, but still. They already discontinued paints when I'd first come back to the hobby. That's why I've had to repaint a lot of my stuff, because a lot of the paints that I used to use got discontinued, so I like resprayed everything and started over with a bunch of models. Glazes were discontinued to favour the glazed medium. You now have to buy the medium and the base paint for the same effect. Okay. Alright. Man, what are people's opinion on contrast paint then? Do you guys love it or hate it, or... Like, I don't know any of my friends that have said that they really dig contrast paint, I guess. Suppose if you've already painted a lot of stuff and you want your stuff to match, you aren't just gonna randomly jump over to contrast, are you? I only use the Black Templars contrast paint. Is that like, that's like a black one, right? I use a fair bit for speed paint. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you've got speed painting commissions, yeah, that's understandable. Of course, you would use the... I'm actually surprised this Tech Marine doesn't have any purity seals on him. I'm like looking at him like, where's your purity seals, bro? But like, he has none. Apparently, he is pure enough. Alright, I'm going to try and neaten up a couple of these in cursor feet, I think. With a little bit of black. And it's about 20 minutes till I go to bed. I am tired this week. Okay, so quite a lot of you people actually enjoy contrast paints. It's a handy tool to have. It's not the killer paint GW hyped it is, but it's handy to save a few colours of your box. Okay. I guess... See, the thing with regular paints that I have, like, I bought a lot of regular paints, and then it turns out that, like, half the ones that I bought, like, I barely use, or I've used, like, 1 or 2 times. So I never... So I guess I kind of have, like, the 20 paints that I use, and those are just the 20 that I use for this army, and I guess I figure that, like... You know, that's just it. That's just the 20 paints, and, like, so... I bought myself 100 paints and 80 of them sit in a box and never get used. Or they get used super infrequently, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I guess contrast for like the likes of flesh would be pretty useful, yeah. I can totally get on board with that. I am not good at painting flesh. Apothecary White or 2 you will keep for sure. You can see me using Apothecary White in my second video. Alright, I gotta check. I actually looked for your channel, Reziel. I'll give you... Here's your opportunity to plug your channel. Tell us in chat what your YouTube channel is actually called, because I searched Reziel. Because I saw your first video about the chaplain, but I haven't seen your second video, so I went to look for it. I searched Reziel in the YouTube channel search box, and nothing came up. So... go ahead and plug your channel so that I can find it next time I want to so I can find your second video, basically. And for anyone that doesn't know, Reziel has now made a couple of well, I don't know what your second video is, but if you're using white paint, I imagine it's a 40k based channel. It's called Reziel. Yeah, so, okay, so is it just you haven't done enough videos yet and the YouTube search algorithm is being a dick and not showing it to me? This is why everyone goes on the elusive YouTube algorithm. I'm literally searching for channels called Reziel and you didn't come up. I guess YouTube... I shouldn't insult YouTube while I'm streaming on YouTube, but yeah, I mean, it's... The algorithm is a fickle beast, I guess. Yeah, the algorithm won't promote you until, I guess, you've got like 10 videos, and then the algorithm, I guess, wants to know that you're like... You're gonna be regular with your videos, I think. And even then, it doesn't always promote you. Just join the Discord, so I'll put my list up 1k and you guys can steer me right. Yeah, absolutely. Reziel gets me Minecraft build videos. Alright, so it's not just me, it's the YouTube algorithm. Go ahead and at some point link your second video in the Facebook group or something, Reziel. We had some guy before that, like... I think if you search Reziel, it shows up on 5 or 6 down the page. Channel thumbnail is the same as my icon here. Alright, I'll have another look. We had someone before that actually, like, I guess he was like building a set of power armor, like in real life, like a bit like a cosplay, right? And he was a member in the Facebook group, and I think he was a member in the Discord as well, and he never asked. He just came in and started, like, every week he would just put up this cosplay style video, and he would just like share it in the group. And like he wouldn't engage with any of the content in the group, he wouldn't speak to anyone, he wouldn't comment on any of the posts, and he was just like in the group, like just sharing this like cosplay that he was doing. And like I guess like we removed a few of his posts, but he just kept doing it, and then we basically said to him, like, dude, if you're not going to engage with anyone in the group and you're just going to post your cosplays, we are just gonna stop allowing you to post in the group. And then I guess he just disappeared. So this is different. You asked first if you could share some of your content. I said that's absolutely fine. Evan has asked me before, from Origin Painting, if he could share something, and I said that was fine as well. So if someone's gonna spend the time and make a video and do the right thing to ask, like, hey, is it cool if I share this? I'm probably gonna say yes. But if you're just gonna join the group and spam your links without ever speaking to anyone, I'm probably gonna get pissed off, right? You just have to search Reziel and scroll down. Okay, I'm releasing every Tuesday right now. Just did number 3 this week. Cool. Well, feel free to share whatever you think is fair, right? Like if you want to share a video, if you think it's relevant to the channel, or if you think it's relevant to like Blood Angels players, I'm happy for you to share it. If it gets spammy, I'm sure someone will tell us, hey, this guy's spamming and I don't like his videos, you know? But I think if it's weekly or if it's every couple of weeks, it's probably absolutely fine. Hell, maybe at some point we can do a video together, because that's the one thing that I found weird starting on YouTube. Like, were they at least good cosplays? I don't think it was particularly good. Maybe someone in the group will remember, but it was pretty I don't know, yeah, I don't think it was good. If it's tastefully done, yeah. You know, that was the thing when I was starting on YouTube, like, it was impossible to get help from anybody, it felt like. Like, I don't know why no other Warhammer streamer or, you know, no one else wanted to help me, I guess. That's fine. I'm not upset about it. I just thought that, like, someone might help, or someone might say something, you know, like, hey, because, you know, like when you're learning, and if you have any questions about anything, actually, even if it's like something in the YouTube back end, you're like, how does this actually work, you know? No one, yeah, I thought someone might offer, you know, like say, hey, I saw your video and you could do this better or something, but no, I didn't. For whatever reason, I didn't get any help. But you know, Evan from Origin Painting, he was trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers, so I put community posts up like 2 times to say, like, Evan is producing these really good videos, and you know, he's a cool guy, and like he deserves more than like the 300 subscribers he had. So if you guys have time, you could follow Evan, you know. And like, I don't know Evan in real life or anything like that. I just thought it was the right thing to do. It's like, hey, here's someone who's banging out videos every week, trying his hardest, and like for whatever reason the algorithm isn't helping him out. So, you know, maybe the least I could do is be like, hey, I'll help you out. And like, I've never met Evan, but I guess we're kind of friends now, right? Just maybe you come on here and be like, fuck you, BA Commander, I'm not your friend. But you know what I'm trying to say, like, it doesn't cost anything to help people. That's the one thing I know we're so off topic right now, but that's the one thing that I've noticed with coronavirus, and that's the one thing that kind of sits with me with coronavirus. Like, capitalism is a terrible system, and you know, and coronavirus has showed that like when there's problems, people literally just care about themselves. And yeah, like, I just generally think capitalism is terrible, but that's the way the world is, I guess. And we got to deal with it. Everybody just out for themselves, and no one wants to help each other out. So I don't know how that relates to my channel in any way, shape, or form. But if you're in a situation and you can help somebody out, and it's not going to cost you anything but a little bit of your time, I guess my advice is do the right thing and help people out. Because if everybody did that, the world would be such a much better place. But, like, yeah, we just don't, I guess. Anyway, I shouldn't rant about politics on a Warhammer stream. But it's getting late, so I'm probably just blabbering. The amount of time I've spent on these guys' feet is ridiculous. And this is why I'm such a slow painter. So I paint the black rim on their boots. Then I go ahead and paint the texture base, or the texture paint on the base. Then I go ahead and touch up the black rim on the boots again. Then I inevitably have made the black paint go onto the feet, as you can see here. So I'll go back and fix that. So we're about 5 touch-ups, and we've barely done anything but one little black rim around their feet. So if anyone ever asks why I've got this giant pile of shame, here's the reason. Because apparently I'm happy to spend 2 hours sorting the rim of black on their feet for 5 models. Did some math hammer with my blade guard, and yep. And yep, what, Oscar? You left us all hanging there. Blade guard are brilliant, though. I mean, blade guard get more attacks than Sanguinary Guard. You know that, right? Like 5 blade guard get more attacks than 5 Sanguinary Guard, and they're basically the same weapon. Their mastercrafted power sword, for all intensive purposes, is an Incarmite sword, right? Sanguinius would have wanted you to help other people as well. See, it's not just me. It's good to help people. I've just put the brush down for the evening. James, have you been watching, or have you just been brushing yourself? I'm actually finishing for the evening soon as well. I'm getting pretty tired. I'm babbling on about random crap, so I must be tired. I've not even been drinking tonight either. Yeah. Well, we'll slowly get through these feet. The 18-inch pistols are pretty great. I mean, they're good when you get to turn 3, right, Oscar? And it's like -2. But before that, I mean, they're not that great. They only get 1 shot, right? They're only strength 4. It's just a bolt pistol with -1 AP. Well, yeah, I'm missing something, because the math hammer on the heavy bolt pistols. When I fire heavy bolt pistols, I have 5 of them, and I hit on 3s. Usually instantly miss 2 times, and then you're only going to wound because you're only strength 4, so you drop 1 or something. Painting a Gravis Captain to get him out of the pile, be painting now, just joining the stream, no problem. Get the man a whiskey. Do you know what? I'm all unpacked in my new house, so I do actually have alcohol available again, because for a while we had a joke on the stream that was like, oh, we're going to have some alcohol, and then I was like, I've packed all my alcohol away. So I probably haven't drunk anything at this point in a month because everything was packed away. But we are unpacked now, so access to alcohol is once again allowed or available. Maybe I'll have a whiskey on Saturday night if we're streaming Saturday night. Well, we will be I think we'll be painting Saturday night for sure, I'm guessing. So we'll probably be painting this 3D printed Contemptor Dreadnought on Saturday night, right? I will try and give him a spray maybe tomorrow or something. I just bought beer, says Rezio. Nice. Does anyone else in the channel bother to paint the rims of their feet black, or am I the only person? Someone else must do this and waste so much time here doing it as well, surely. Who else bothers to paint the rims of the feet a different colour and then go back and forth with the texture paint? Sorry, go back and forth with like tidy up after you've made a mess with the texture paint. Consider movement is a good way to deal damage instead of waiting for turn 3. Red boots all the way. Nope, red boots. Oh man, am I the only one? I'm the only one that bothers. Well, my Blood Angels, they went to the Nike store. All your guys went to that knockoff cheap, I don't know. I don't know the name of a cheap shoe store, but whatever it's called, you guys went there. We went to the Nike store. I'm going to start doing little ticks on the side of their feet as well to show that we went to the Nike store. I'm making some primary scale Vanguard vets with assault intercessor's body, Vanguard veterans jump packs and claws, beaky heads, and third-party shields. Would people have a problem playing against them? I would have no problem playing against them. The only time you're going to have a problem with them, Raiden, is if you try and take them to a Warhammer store, I think, or is it a Warhammer endorsed tournament, because you're not allowed to use any third party stuff. You'd probably be okay with making them Primaris scale, but Warhammer official tournaments are a bit funny now about third party stuff apparently. But beaky heads are awesome. Look, my whole squad of incursors I'm doing here, we're all beaks, because beak heads are awesome and they're so retro, I guess. So I don't think anyone would have a problem with that part of it. They might just, Games Workshop might have a problem if you rocked up to one of their official tournaments because of the third party shields, but I really think Games Workshop just need to sell storm shields on their website, because they're ridiculous on eBay. You'd have to spend the cost of the whole box again to get some storm shields. They're ridiculous. You guys went to Adidas aren't that cheap, are they? Jarut says just purchased a new to me bunch of Blood Angels. Would there be a problem painting a few squads of successor chapters in a tournament playing them as Blood Angels? No, I mean, the problem you would get is if you paint them Blood Angels and then want to use them as successors. If you paint them as successors, you can totally use them as the main Blood Angels. But again, that's just Games Workshop rules. Like, most other tournaments are probably not going to have a problem with that. If you have the right models and they've got 3 colours on them, and you want to say, if you want to rock up to the tournament and say these are white scars and I'm going to play all the white scars rules, as long as they've got 3 colours on them, I think that, I mean, as far as I'm aware, that's absolutely fine. The shields for the Vanguard veteran kits are very generic, zero Blood Angels favour. I'd agree with that, yeah. That's one of the saddest things about the shields, I guess, is like we really should have some Blood Angels themed shields. You know, you get those cool Crimson Paladin shields, but they're like Forge World only, and like if you wanted to do that, it's super expensive to make conversions, right? Because you have to buy like the whole Forge World kits. In fact, I used to work for Adidas, and Adidas aren't cheap. All right, so you guys went to a shoe shop that's cheaper than Adidas. Just use your listener-friendly 2v1 match against Orcs and Sisters. I won by 20 points. Congrats. Which list did you use then? Yeah, I mean, I got so many lists going on at the moment. Hooten. Which list did you use? I was even at 2013 Boston Marathon for them. Oh, that's cool. Payless Shoe Store. That's the one. You guys went to the Payless Shoe Store. And my guys went to the Nike one. So in battle, you guys actually only get to move 5 inches, and we get to go 6.5 because we're wearing the Nikes, and everybody knows you go faster in Nikes, right? I use the Crimson Paladin shields for my company veterans. That's because you're awesome, Highland Phoenix. If Crimson Paladin shields were readily available, loads of people would like to do that, I'm sure, but it's kind of a big investment to get Crimson Paladin shields, right? Like, you can't get them cheaply. Alright, I'm going to wrap the stream in just a couple of minutes, guys, because it is just past midnight, and I got work tomorrow, so I need to be up at 7. Did I get enough done tonight? I don't know. I got some done. I think red ones go faster, John. No, red ones do not go faster. Red ones with black rims go faster. The Whirlwind did such great work. The one used against the Dark Angels? Okay, cool. The Whirlwind did... Oh man, you're making me want... I'm struggling so hard to know what list to run to this next tournament. Maybe I need to try 1 Redemptor and 2 Contemptors. Maybe that's what I need to try. Maybe that gives me the flexibility to do a bit more. We'll see. I'm going to play Andrew on Monday night, and I'm going to play Andrew's buggies. So we're going to be up against the... I don't want to call them stupid. I guess we'll just call them... We're going to be fighting Andrew's broken buggies on Monday nights. So if we're fighting against the broken buggies, is 2 Contemptors going to be enough to deal with that? I have no idea, but I wanted to play the buggies anyway, so like if I come up against them in the tournament and I'm not playing a list that's designed to beat the buggies, because I can't really tailor my whole list around trying to beat Andrew's stupid buggies. So yeah, Monday night I'll play the buggies with a more Space Marine-esque list, like, or just a more standard list, I guess would be the right words. And I guess we'll see how I get on. The Speedwag is so strong, though. If he goes first, I can lose. There's just potential to lose so much stuff, even if it's in cover. Last time I had those Terminators with storm shields, and he wiped the whole squad with indirect fire in like turn 1. It was ridiculous. But yeah, I guess what can you do, right? So that's what's happening on Monday, I guess, and we will kind of take it from there. I think the contrast at the black bottoms looks better than leaving them the same as the leg armor. Yeah, I think it does as well. It just takes apparently it takes me 2 hours to do like 1 squad of 5 guys. So I'm trying to decide if it's worth it. I've done my whole army this way though, so I guess it is what it is. Thoughts on Plasmon Contemptors against the buggies? I think the Volkites are still better. I think the Volkites and the Contemptors are just so strong, Hooten. It's hard to deny. I kind of like the Plasma Contemptor. People in my team are going to switch to them. The Plasma and the Contemptor is just heavy D3, right? And it's just a strength 8 minus 3 damage plasma cannon. I don't see how that's better than the Contemptors getting 16 shots, potentially re-rolling all hits re-rolling all hits, or hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s, which is the same. So you get like 16 hits and then 6s do mortals. I think the Contemptors are just so reliable. Heavy plasma is almost the same. Yeah, I mean, heavy plasma, you're right, probably the same as the las cannons, and the las cannons cost a lot more. But I think the Volkite Contemptors is the way forward. I really do. My Volkite Contemptor was MVP Monday night. But anyway, it's 5 past midnight, guys. I gotta bail. Thank you for watching. I will be back with a tactics video tomorrow, Saturday night live stream, Sunday night or Sunday afternoon live stream, Monday night live army game. So I will see you at one of these. I'll see you at one of these streams, I'm sure. Like I said, thanks again for watching. Have a good night. Peace.
You